Do you even know what your psoas is? Guys, if you have back pain, if your lower back is like concrete, if you're stuck in these weird, overextended, super weird positions and your back is on fire, stay tuned. I want to introduce you to your psoas and then show you what you can use that you can find at any sports store. Most gyms would have them. You should have it in your gym bag to release your psoas, to get freedom in your lower back, so you can move again and be healthy and not deal with chronic back pain. Stay tuned, guys. We're gonna jump right in and you'll know exactly what to do. All right, so I wanna show some attention to what's called the psoas. It's a very important muscle, but a lot of people just kind of overlook it. So they kind of go to their hip flexors and they hammer those really well, but they kind of don't mess with the psoas. A lot of people make the psoas a very complicated thing. It is something you have to kind of take in stride. Be careful when you're pushing around because you got your guts and stuff like that sitting around there. So just go slow, take deep breaths, listen to your body. If you feel a pulse, if you feel like a stabbing, very, very extreme pain, back off. There's not something that you want to push through, okay? But be confident in what you have, take your time, and just see how it works for you. So first I'm gonna show you where the psoas is at or how to access it with your lacrosse ball. I've got an orb ball as well. This is kind of like a hard foam. You can use a little kid's basketball. It's a little bit softer. It'll give a little bit more. This is a lot more rigid, so you can be careful with that. If you're super extremely tight and you're really just kind of gnarled up, start with a tennis ball. If that's not enough, you can do a lacrosse ball. So I'm gonna show you a lacrosse ball, and where you wanna focus on, there's 3 points on both sides of your belly button that you wanna focus on. First thing is your landmark, which is your belly button, okay? So take your ball, find your belly button, very easy. Now, go an inch off of your belly button, okay? You don't have to get a ruler, it's not a precision type thing. Just find your belly button, come off about an inch, okay? So there's my belly button, point to my belly button, here's the ball, okay? So what you wanna do is I go right above that, okay? So once I've gone over, I come up just a little bit and I'll start there. It should be right below your rib. So here's the bottom rib, okay? So I wanna go below that because you're not crushing on a rib. You don't wanna do that. You wanna find your belly button, come to an inch to the side, come up just a little bit and find that lower rib, and that's where I like to start, okay? So if you had an orb ball, same idea, except this is obviously a bigger mass, so you have to kind of keep that in mind. But find your belly button, come off to the side, and this thing will pretty much not have to go in too many points because it's so big that you'll basically mash the entire thing without having to move it. So going back to the lacrosse ball, the 3 points I was telling you about, belly button, off an inch, come up just below that rib. That's your first point. Second point should be right around where your first inch off the belly button was, and then you're gonna go down. So 1, 2, 3. What you don't wanna be doing is hitting that pubic bone, or that you'll just feel a very strong bony structure the lower you go. You don't have to worry about that. If you're hitting on that, back off, come back up. You don't need to go down that low. So 3 points of contact on both sides, and now let's get into what you're actually gonna do in your area. So what you're gonna do, remember, the belly button, 1 inch to the side. Take your ball, find your belly button, 1 inch off, and you're gonna basically roll over on top of it. And I want you to relax and try to allow that ball to just kind of sink into that tissue. At first you'll be like, oh, you'll kind of like flinch and cringe, and it'll be kind of funky. You might feel something really kind of weird that might kind of make you pull back. That's totally fine. So when you're here, I want you to stay in that general area. Don't travel too far off to left and right, up and down yet. Stay in one area. And I want you to just kind of keep your weight on your elbows at first. And as you're able to relax, I want you to allow your belly to sink in. Take some deep breaths. When you inhale, allow the tissues around that ball to consume the ball as best you can. And then when you exhale, allow that ball to sink a little bit deeper. Sometimes it takes a few breaths to allow your body to relax enough to get deep enough to really hit the psoas. So you just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so once I'm here and I've gotten to the bottom of that piece, I feel that nasty muscle. Usually there is a sharp pain that goes along with the psoas, but just be smart about it. It shouldn't be extreme. So if you feel the pain, you kind of say, okay, I'm on something, I can kind of feel it. Hang out there, explore it a little bit, just be cautious. Okay, you probably can't see the ball, but it's sitting right there. If you can actually relax a little bit more like this, put more weight into that area, explore the area a little bit. Exhale. Doing this just kind of stretches your abdominals up, so you kind of build a little bit more tension in the area. Whichever works for you. Okay, remember, 3 points of contact. You got your top, slide down to the middle, work on that, and go down to that base. And this is where I typically feel a lot more issues. Same thing here. Breathe into it, move around a little bit. You can even go as far as doing circles over and around that area, as well as turning away from the side with the ball on it, okay? So I don't want to overcomplicate it, but again, belly button, come up right below that bottom rib, come back on it, exhale, and you can twist away, come back, find your spot, move up a little bit, exhale, twist away. All right, so now you saw the lacrosse ball. You can do the same thing with the tennis ball. Now let's go with that bigger basketball, the little kid's ball, rubber ball, very squishy, or something harder like this oar ball. Whatever you have, this is what I'm gonna show you how to do it now. This is a little bit different. It's taking up more surface area, so you have to be a little bit more careful. You're squishing a lot more space than you were with this thing. This is more targeted. This is more larger area, obviously. So what you're gonna do, same idea. I tried to go, it's not gonna be an inch off your belly button, so it's pretty much the general area. Show you here, so if here's my belly button, you're still working from here to right below that. You can see that rib right here, right below that and in there and right along that line where your belly button is, okay? But you're coming in on the side almost. So take your ball or your basketball or your kettlebell or your slam ball, whatever you have, and sit. I kind of come in from the side, almost like I'm trying to push my guts over. It's kind of weird, but it doesn't hurt. So if it does hurt, be cautious. Come in from the side and right off that belly button, and I'll sit here. And sometimes if you're good enough, you can relax into this. Deep breath in, sink to the bottom. Allow the ball to sink. You don't want to be tensed up and contracted trying to get a psoas. Relax, fold over the ball, allow your body weight to push that ball deeper onto that psoas. Kind of explore a little bit. Pay attention to your pain. Again, you're not trying to destroy yourself. You can do circles. You can do a contract, relax technique, which is basically once the ball is there and you kind of find that psoas area, you can squeeze, contract, hold for a few seconds, exhale, and allow that ball to sink into the tissue. Each time you should get a little bit deeper and deeper. I'm not sure if you see that. So I'll let it sink, then I'll squeeze, exhale, and I'll find a new spot. And I'm basically just hanging out, trying to find, again, going lower and lower. You're not gonna, from where you start, you're not gonna go up higher into the ribs. Again, you shouldn't be mashing on bone. If you're on bone, you're either too high or too low, basically. So sink a little bit lower, go a little bit lower below that belly button. Same thing. Exhale, contract, relax, and you can kind of do circles. You can go side to side. You can go up and down. Key thing is relax your stomach. Don't contract it.